Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Vanilla Heroes. Last episode, we lit up all of this place, got all of our slime farms taken care of, as well as making us this massive super smelter that actually works pretty well. If you tuned in for last episode, you know that we were having some issue getting the iron smelted fast enough to put this together, and the iron left over after finishing both was absolutely demolished by this thing. It did it probably in less than a minute or two. It was pretty awesome. We also managed to save Steve from his unfortunate demise, although currently he is in like an ultra safe box, which kind of looks uncomfortable, so we might need to raise this up a little bit, add some trapdoors, make it look a little more homey for him. But for today's episode, we've got a little bit in tune, but I think we're probably going to wing it a little bit. Between episodes, I have been getting us a whole bunch of oak wood. Wrong chest again. Oak wood. Alright, so I've been getting us a whole bunch of oak wood. So what the thought is it's been probably a week since we put in this grass, and I haven't seen a single animal spawn on it, but a whole lot of slimes have been, and it's getting to the point where it's just downright annoying. So what we're going to do is we're going to rip all of the grass out and replace it with oak slabs. Unfortunately, with all of our 107 deaths, most of our stuff has gone missing. We've got a pair of Protection 4 Unbreaking 3 Mending legs and our Unbreaking 3 Mending wings, but that's about it. So I figure what we'll start off today's episode is I'm going to take you guys over to our Ender, which I don't think I've taken you to because, one, it's really, really sketchy to get to, and two, I haven't used it too incredibly often, and when I have, it's been during big projects, so there's never been a good time. But what I think we're going to do is head over there and take a whole bunch of our diamonds with us. Let's put those in the ender chest just to be safe. And we're going to see what we can enchant. Okay, so I thought I'd give you a little bit of a glimpse of what we're dealing with here. That's our spawning platform, and this is the very user-friendly, very safe bridge over the nether, or over the end. We've had a few talks about what's going to actually end up happening here, because every time I come here, I'm terrified I'm going to lose everything, so I just throw everything into an end chest and grab it when I get there. But I think what I'm going to end up doing is probably making an episode out of making a nice, clean bridge over to here. The only issue that I'm currently having when it comes to it is the fact that it is faced a very odd direction for a tunnel leading to it. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of thinking about it. The other part is the biggest thing really requested is to put a sorting system onto it. That way we could have a system that dumps out all the extra ender pearls. But let's see. So that chest there is sitting on Y level 0, so there's not a good way to pull out of them without actually having to do a complete remodel down here. So I'm probably going to end up talking to a bit of the other heroes just to see what they have to say, and then after that we might have a slightly bigger project on our hand. So what I'm going to do is take all of these diamonds and see if I can't get ourselves a better setup. I want to get us a good sword, a nice helmet, some good boots, and maybe a good pickaxe and shovel or two for us to max out with some mending. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so we spent probably about a half hour to an hour down there getting everything sorted out. We weren't having a whole lot of luck, so we did meet up with Phoenix to go grab some stuff and paid him a couple diamonds just to save ourselves. In the long run, we also got a couple of extra goodies that, like this Efficiency 3, Fortune 2, Unbreaking 3 Diamond Shovel, and a Fire Aspect Sword. Stuff that we got extras of, but we didn't have. We forgot to bring stone tools to kind of re-roll. But yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I am mistaken. So we are now down to 2 stacks of diamonds, which is not great. So, yeah, let's at least show what we got for it. We have now got the Unbreaking 3 Mending Flying Fish Elytra. We've also got some protection for Unbreaking 3 Mending pants. For our helmet, we've got Unbreaking 3 Fire Protection for Aqua Affinity, Respiration 3, and Mending. Our boots are Fire Protection for Unbreaking 3, Depth Strider 3, Feather Falling for Mending. We've got a not perfect bow, but I think it'll do for a little bit. Infinity Unbreaking 3 Power 4 Flame, so all we're missing is Punch. We've got an Efficiency 5 Unbreaking 3 Fortune 3 Sharpness 3, which threw me off, and then I remembered that they added that in the combat update, and Mending on our Diamond Axe. We've got a Silk Touch God Shovel. We've got a Silk Touch God Pickaxe, a Fortune God Pickaxe, and a Smite 5. I would have preferred Sharpness, but we didn't have very much luck with the rolls. Looting 3, Unbreaking 3, Fire Aspect 2, Knockback 2, Sweeping Edge 3, Mending Sword. So, I think we are in a great position. If I die now, I'm a nub. So, what I think we need to do now is I'm going to fix this water source, and I am going to switch this grass all out for lower oak slabs so we can stop the slimes from spawning. And from there, we will decide what we're going to do for the day. Alright, so now is the moment of truth. We've got it all in. It was a massive amount of oak. Like, just to get a frame of reference, I did happen to cut a bit too much. We cut almost a full chest. We used about half of it. So I'd say we cut it. We definitely overshot what we needed, but I would have rather had that than to have too little. But I like it and I hate it at the same time. So looking at it from this direction, which is in reality we're going to see it from directions like this more so than we are going to see it looking at it this direction where it does that little wavy thing. And I'm not even sure if that's going to show up when it comes to video or not. But the issue comes with the fact that we can't position the way these lines run. So this side looks fine, And this side does some weird stuff. It almost looks like the computer's breaking a little bit. And then we round the corner and it looks fine. So I've got two options in mind. Let's go ahead and sleep the night away real quick. Option number one is we come up with something that will work for this, but that would require us to tear everything out, restart from scratch, and yeah, in reality, we don't have many options. We either come up with a new block entirely and start from scratch. Two is that we deal with it, but I don't think that's an option. That's rough on the eyes. Let me see something real quick. Options, resource pack. Let's go to vanilla tweaks. Yes. Done. And yes, I know, every single one of my packs are outdated. It's a struggle that we got to deal with. Even this fancy numbered one, the one from Mojang, isn't updated. So no matter what, we got to rely on the default to kind of pick up the slack for anything that we're missing. Wow, this is taking a while. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it's 100%. Really? I did not expect that. Yeah, so it's definitely the texture itself. It does seem a little less bad on older textures, but it's still pretty rough. So the thought for now is that I'm thinking I need your help. We can go with like a smooth sandstone that would kind of have the same tonal range, but I really don't think that it would fit in with the entire base, and I almost feel like it would look too earthy for this build. I don't know. I guess the end of this is that we don't have an option but to find an alternative to it. It did accomplish what I wanted it to, though. So what we've managed to pull off was we no longer have slimes down here. And if this would finish, there we go. If this would finish, you can look down and see that slimes are definitely spawning down there more. Meaning that we're in a better position for starting some farms. So the farms that I have in mind are going to be, each corner is going to have a mob farm, the Nenbom kind of honeycomb-ish looking farm. But at the moment, water updates are causing a serious amount of lag, and I really don't think that it would be worth putting those in just yet. And the next option is going to be slime farms. Now, I'm afraid to oh wait, I don't have to fly down there. I have the, where's my water pillar? Let's go hop down there and we can give kind of an idea. So we framed it off with dirt. We've got 3 chunks right here, but I feel like it's going to encroach on this corner. That's definitely going to encroach on a corner, as will that. So I'm thinking right here is going to be one of our best options. This will be getting in the way of one corner, but I think we can also turn this one and mine a little further into the wall and walk away with 2 good slime chunk farms, maybe 3 if we use this middle or this corner chunk of this 3 times. So I think 3 chunks is going to be a pretty good number for enough slime spawning for us. downside is going to be that with the design that we have in mind, this one will definitely be viewable through this glass thing that we're going to have going on. I don't think this corner one will, which is kind of a positive in my mind of where that one's headed. And I think this one will, but not by a lot. Let's stand on this corner and look down. Yeah, so it's only going to be visible in a corner, which is something that I find bearable. And if we only do a few layers of it, maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5, we could probably get away with 5. I don't think that it will get to the point that it is unbearable to look at. So that will probably be coming to you guys in the near future because it doesn't require any water. And it will require a little bit of iron, but I don't think it's going to be an unbearable amount. But I've been thinking hard on it, and with the thought of giving you guys a bit too much time lapse, but to go ahead and get it over with, I've done some changes with the next layer. That log right there is on Y level 40. What that will say to me is that we do not have to worry about slimes spawning on that layer, and we can then put the grass layer from there and move on. So what I want to do is we're gonna put there we go. So we're gonna put stone on that layer, very much like we did down here, but it's only gonna be temporary. I think we might do something with stone brick as the roof ceiling part here. That sounded like a good idea, and over time we will toy around with some pillar looks to get it going. But I want to go ahead and get this layer put on there for the same hopes that we had last time. I really do want to get us some animals, and I really don't want to go through the effort of hunting down that many animals. So what I'm thinking is we go ahead and crack on with that, and once it's done, we don't have to deal with seeing another time lapse aiming straight down for a very long time. How do you guys feel about that? I'm feeling good. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Hey guys, so brief interruption. The original clip for this was actually messed up by a podcast that I was listening to. Apparently, being the amazing recorder that I am, forgot to turn off my podcast that I was listening to. But that being said, I can't move around too much in fear of giving you guys too many spoilers. But what happened was one wall ended up being too long and one wall ended up being too short in the actual base dig of this whole thing. So the giant dig that you guys saw a couple episodes back, I was off by 1 block in one direction. So we went ahead and fixed that, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of clarification because otherwise there's really nothing that kind of tells you why we did what we did. So without further ado, let's continue. Okay, so after a bit of finagling, you can see that this wall looks a little bit different, but overall it looks pretty much the same. We've just pushed it over 1, put back in our floor, and adjusted our slime farms accordingly, like so. And then, as you can tell, this wall got 100% uglier, being stone from bottom to top. But how could I miss that? Okay, well, we're going to resume our time-lapse, getting this top layer built. We shouldn't run into any more issues because everything is finally centered up. I'm just glad everything that we've built has been centered around measuring off of that versus measuring off the walls like I've been tempted to do before. So, I will see you guys in a bit. Okay guys, and we are back from what feels like one of the longest projects, aside from digging, that I've kind of undertaken, because replacing the floor took forever, and making this platform ended up taking forever, but I'm loving it. It's dark out, I don't see a single mob spawning down below, I don't have any mobs spawning on my grass patch. That being said, I also don't have any animals spawning on my grass patch. Yeah, it's not really going. The animals are not cooperating. I feel like I'm overlooking a simple mechanic, but that being said, we've lit up anywhere down below that I thought a mob could spawn and could potentially cause disaster, including the blocks and our furnace below. I also kept noticing creepers spawning in here. So I went ahead and torched this place up as much as I possibly could, but in doing so, I found something. Something look off? Yeah, we forgot to put a simple piece of dust there, which would explain why that one chain here has less coal in it than the rest. Rookie mistake. But that being said, I'm feeling really good about what we've accomplished. We've fixed what would have been something that bothered me for a very long time, so I'm glad I went ahead and took the time to fix it. This wall is probably going to bother me being so lacking of texture though, so I'm starting to regret that already. We've also left these corners dark, which sounds really stupid when you think about it, but given the fact that we have heads in the game, I'm really after a bat head. Last season we had the heads in the game, and I could not, for the life of me, get a bat head, and it really did start to bother me. But we're at that point in the episode that I think it's time that we wrap things up, and I wanted to wrap things up this time with a question for you. So we had two things come up this episode, one that I've already voiced to you and one that I haven't quite yet. The oak. Do you guys have any options to replace the oak that you think would fit the build palette that we established of quartz, prismarine, and stone? That would accent this nicely, but also has a very good slab form, because I don't have too many options outside of slab. But I'm not thinking glass is a good option either. Aside from that, the second thing is I like this size. I like how much of the wall that this takes over. And I'm really not feeling like we need to add more to the side of it. So the question that I'm posing to you guys is, do you think that we should fit something back in this corner? Or do you think that we should round it off and keep with the soft edges thing that we have going on here? The other thought is, if we did do the rounding off here, in each corner we could do a spiral staircase up, and that could leave us to a nice place. I mean, really all this top layer is meant to be is a path. So we're really going to get to play with our decorative side up here. And I think a nice little spiral staircase coming up on each corner could lead well. And it would match up pretty well with the pillar that we're going to end up putting right there as well. So, without further ado, I'd like to leave you with your thoughts on those, and I'd love to hear what you think. Other things are, I started a Twitter. I want to try to get things a little more updated with you guys. I want to be able to connect with you more, so Twitter will be a really good spot for us to keep in contact. For you to pitch ideas, feel free to tag me in them, instant message me. There's a lot of options that go in there, and you can also stay up to date when things drop. I'm thinking about starting up a Twitch so that I can get some of the more massive projects, like something that I have in mind for a storage system, maybe? That will probably take quite a few hours. But I also don't think that it's going to be something that would make for a very good episode, because I don't think you want to see me grinding for hours and hours and hours. But I think that that's also a way for me to connect with you guys. So, if I start a Twitch, I will leave the link below. My Twitter handle will be in the link below. And without further ado, I'm really happy with this episode, and I hope that you guys are too. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to leave a like. If you want to continue the progress with us, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. And also feel free to hit that bell icon, that way you get notified anytime that an episode goes up. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you have a great day. I will catch you guys in the next one.